Thank you. Okay, we'll start now. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavaraham samma sambuddho vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisadamma sarati sattadeva manusanam buddho bhagavati. Namo tassa samma sambuddhassa. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko eipasiko apanaiko pachattang veditabbo vinnohiti. Namo tassa niyanika sadammassa. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sango ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sango nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sango Samichi patipanno bhagavato savaka sango yadidam chattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sango ahuneyo pahuneyo dakkineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punyaketang lokassapi. Namo tassa atta arya puggala mahasangasa. Okay, so welcome all of you to this introductory lecture on stress management, understanding stress, and then learning the different ways and means to handle or to control or to manage stress, which is also called stress busting. It's one fancy way of saying stress management. Stress busting, and then our approach towards this stress management. What exactly is our path, our approach, and how authoritative it is? An authoritative approach to handling stress. That's what is today's lecture all about. And of course, it is an introduction class for you, for these level 1 participants. After all, the level 1 techniques that you are going to learn, all of them, they help us to handle stress, to understand stress, to come out of stress. Why stress has such an important, significant role in our life? It's because we undergo this so-called stress in all aspects of our life. In all aspects of our life, this is an underlying say aspect that's going on in the world. So in the individuals, there are different kinds of stress: physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress, spiritual stress, and stress. Actually, it is stress derived from the physical world, from physics. Of course, now it is more used in the psychological world. This stress is actually originated in the physical world, in the machines, the physical forces. They talk about this stress. What exactly is this stress? If we understand the origin and the definition of stress, then we can apply it in the psychological world also, and then understanding the stress at the psychological say dimension, it becomes easy. And then handling stress and the different ways and means that world, people and the doctors, so many philosophers, religious people, they are giving different techniques of handling stress. And then we will see our approach, our path, our techniques, the core philosophy of our technique that we will see today. And from day after tomorrow, begin when our class, this level 1 class begins. Then you will start learning the different techniques of this authoritative stress management. Why I am calling this authoritative stress management technique, that also we will see. Why it is an authoritative approach to handle stress, that also we will see in this today's lecture. Now coming to the stress, what exactly is the meaning of stress? See, anything that is pressurizing any physical object on a machine, let us say in a car, its capacity is let us say 5 people. If you put 10 people inside the car, then the car will undergo stress. The engine, the machine, the inside system, it will undergo stress because of the weight. In the same way, the capacity of, let us say, of a person, the physical stress of individuals. The capacity of a person is to carry some 50 kg. If you keep 100 kgs on his above his head, then on his head, then what happens? He will undergo stress, the physical stress, the mechanical stress, the physical stress. So anything that exceeds our capacity, that leads to stress at the physical level. The same thing holds good at the mental level also. Or in a system, if the inputs are more and output is less, then we undergo stress. We keep on eating, and of course, a part of it will get digested and it will be absorbed by the different parts of the body, the blood and different parts of the body. And the rest of it has to go out. If it is not going out, then you undergo stress in your stomach. At the same way, we can define stress as an imbalance in input and output. If the input is more, output is less, undergo stress. The same way, if the input is less and output is more, let us say diarrhea, you are suffering from diarrhea. So the input is less and the output is more. All the liquids are going out of your body. Then what happens? Then you undergo stress. So that is one more way of defining stress. When there is imbalance in the input and output in any system for that matter, whether it is a machine, whether it is human body, or even the mind also. Even in the mind, the inputs, the form of say the thoughts and emotions, if they accumulate in the mind, if it is not going out, if it is not freely flowing, then you undergo stress. And all other emotions also, your love, your compassion, your appreciation, all these emotions also, if there is no balance, then you undergo stress. So that very imbalance in the inputs and outputs, that is the main reason for stress. So the very art of balancing everything, for example, coming to an emotional issue like love, let us say, love towards yourself and love towards others, if there is a balance, then there is no stress. If your love towards yourself is too much and love for others is too less, then definitely you undergo stress. The same way, the opposite. If you are concerned, if for somebody is too much and if you're ignoring your concern or the concern of some other people who are showing concern to you, then again you undergo stress. Or in your office, the workload and your capabilities, if there is imbalance, you undergo stress. You have a lot of workload from the say from your boss, but your capabilities are not matching or not meeting that responsibility, then you undergo stress. Or your ideas are not meeting with the companies or with your boss idea, then that imbalance starts, then the stress starts. In that way, we can define, we can simplify these different kinds of stress, different definitions of stress as imbalance. Imbalance in what? Imbalance in inputs and outputs, either to body or to the mind. So if that imbalance is there, then stress is there. And what is stress busting or stress management or handling the stress or controlling the stress? It is like balancing. When the inputs are more, output is less, then you have to increase the outputs, reduce the inputs so that the input and output becomes almost same. Then you are balancing inputs and outputs. Then you are handling stress. The same way in the office, or if you are, let us say, workload. If the workload is more, your capability is less, either you have to increase your capabilities or you have to reduce your workload. Then you can achieve the balance. Then you can handle that stress. Many people I heard in the Western countries, even in India, if they find a lot of workload in their office, company, their working workplace, then they demote themselves because they find it too stressful, the situation. Because of workload, they demote instead of taking more responsibilities, but sometime at least. Okay. They come down, they just give up, they just step back. So it is maybe less lucrative. The rewards will be definitely less, but still it's okay. Reducing the stress is a much more superior reward. It's a greater reward than being stuck with this kind of stress in this competitive world, this rat race of say achieving something. So when you lose that balance in this race, then definitely you undergo stress. So this is the technique. Either you have to reduce your workload by giving up other things like the reward or the salary or say monetary benefit or any other benefit you have to, any other materialistic benefit you have to give up so that you can reduce your stress. Or through different skillful means, through different kinds of exposure to some kind of powerful environment and making yourself more powerful, more competitive, more capable, then you cope up with the workload, cope up with the pressure because you have increased your abilities. That is one more way. Or you can apply both these techniques. You can increase your abilities, and if it is too much, then to some extent you can reduce the workload through this by sacrificing or by giving up other materialistic benefits. So this is an appropriate way of handling stress, but there are some instant techniques. Now the world is so much fascinated by the instant techniques of handling anything. So even with stress management, the world has different masters, different, let's say, skillful people. They have designed their own techniques and they're promoting their own techniques of handling the stress. Like one of the very popular way of handling or stress busting is like you are, say, diversifying or activating your senses, or even diverting the senses, or changing the place, changing the work, changing the situation, changing the people with whom you are interacting every day. That very change also will calm down your mind. It gives some kind of thrill to the mind, some kind of activation, some kind of push to the mind, because that monotony is broken. When you're in the same company, when you're doing the same work, the same habits, the same, say, people. So that monotony can be, if it is broken, say, travel, some people, they simply go to some new place, which they have not seen maybe sometimes. Or sometimes the place which is very beautiful, very, say, appealing, satiate your sense desire to see some beautiful place or nice place. So that change in the place by traveling. So that is for the eyes. Eyes also should not be, say, involved, or it should not be used in the same situation by looking at the same people, by looking at the same environment. It requires some change. So by traveling new places, one can come out of stress because you are simply diverting from that monotonous situation, or temporary, or forgetting about your workload or your responsibilities or pressure that you have been exerted from the others or from yourself. Your own ambitions may exert pressure on you, or the others' ambitions will exert pressure on you. So to come out of that kind of pressure, it is generally because of ambition, either one's own ambition or the ambition of other people, of other ambitious people. They exert pressure. So to come out of that ambitious pressure, temporarily, so people will take up these different kinds of diverting the senses, by eating, by eating something that is very delicious, very special, which you like very much. That also, to some extent, some people find it a way of stress busting. Some people travel to eat. Some people travel to different places because maybe that place is renowned for some very delicious stuff. Just for the sake of that, enjoying that delicious stuff, so that they can temporarily forget about this stress or pressure, or diverting their mind, diverting from that monotony. So they just activate, or they just divert their senses to something new, like travel, like eating, or some other sensual pleasure. We have five senses: physical senses and one mind sense. If we divert these six senses, then to some extent, definitely, we can manage the stress. We can come out of the stress, at least temporarily. That's what many people practiced. That's what is recommended by so many people, so many philosophers, so many teachers, so many, even the religious people also. So many religions also, they talk about this diverting the mind through these different senses, five physical senses and one mind sense. One can come out of the stress temporarily. And of course, as I told you, the more authoritative way is to balance the inputs and outputs, either by reducing the workload or by increasing the capabilities. That is a relatively an authoritative way. The temporary way or short time it will work. So that kind of approaches, or diverting your senses, five physical senses, and the other one is mind sense. So if you divert these things, you can definitely come out of stress. That is the different techniques of stress busting. And of course, exercise, physical exercise, some people recommend some kind of, even some kind of say new hobbies, taking up some new hobbies. It will also divert your attention towards that routine, towards that monotonous work, and temporarily it will let go the pressure, the burden. Gardening, some people take up gardening to come out of the stress, being with the soil, being with the plants, being with the trees, being with the animals, being with the pets, being with the kids, the children. So in that way, different people, they give this diversion techniques, diverting techniques of the senses, so that they can come out of stress and to break that monotony. And some spiritual people, coming to the religious techniques, the different religious techniques like prayers, and then of course the chanting, puja, or meditation, or yoga, of course, different, or surrendering to some teacher, some religious leader. That will temporarily, of course, or relatively, it is a permanent method, permanent approach, because ego is one predominant defilement that will create a lot of other defilements in the mind, and that will create a lot of stress. That will create a lot of ambition, a lot of worry, a lot of fear, a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety. All these things will add up to your stress. So the core reason is our own attachment to our abilities, our ego. If that self-esteem or if that self-identification, your identification with the self is too much, too rigid, too gross, then automatically other defilements like your anxiety, tension, everything will, fears, all these things will accumulate, then it will add up to your stress, the burden, the load of stress will increase. So for that, the spiritual religious techniques like surrendering to, say, the teacher or the say spiritual leader, or say the deities, just go down and surrender. I am nothing, everything is you, I am surrendering to you, I am working for you. Or at least for some time, just let go. Something superior to me, something beyond me is there. That will actually calm down, that will reduce our ego, that will calm down our mind, that will relax us from the burden, from the stress. That's why many religious, for that matter, that is the prime reason why many religions have come to the world. Because when the individual thinks that, because the inner nature, the core nature of an individual is to dominate, to become the superior most. So that is actually the core reason for ego inflation. The egos will build because of this deep-rooted ambition to become superior, or the most superior. But if somebody is there superior to me, then automatically our ego will it gets melted. It will melt. Then automatically all other defilements which are related with this ego, they will also melt, and we feel that calmness. Some people are saying in the world, because of this corona, many people are suffering health issues, of course, suffering because of the infection. It is affecting the health of the people, and it's affecting the economy. People are losing their jobs, or people are not getting sufficient work so that they can earn money and take care of their livelihood. That's not happening. And some people again, they're saying this is creating a lot of stress. The mental health issues also it is creating. The corona, this pandemic, present pandemic. So these mental health issues. So to say lockdown and all, of course, it will help to stop the spread of this infection, but it will affect the work, the job, the earning, the economy will be affected. So even though if we go for some kind of measures where we can stop the spread of this infection, but it will affect our economy. And in addition to that, it will affect our mental health. That's what many philosophers, many psychologists, they are giving their opinion. So for that, they say, even the many religious people, many wise people, called wise people, philosophers and psychologists, these religious centers, any religion for that matter, they should be open with some care, of course, with all preventive precautionary measures. Because in the religious centers, lot of mental pressure, mental stress can be removed. Automatically it happens. The people unburden their stress in the religious places. Then they can handle, they can calm down their mind, and that calm down mind will help them to cope up with the situation, cope up with this pandemic, and also cope up with the economic situations. That's what some masters they are saying. I don't say that that is the most authoritative way, but that is one of the opinions of many psychologists, philosophers, and religious people. Why I have to give this information? Because that is the power of religion. To some extent, I don't say that is the most authoritative, and that is so. What is the power here? So it will help us to let go our ego, let go our strong attachment to our own self, and it will help us to calm down the mind. And then that is one way of stress busting, one way of controlling the best stress and calming down the mind. So whether it is prayer, when it is group meeting or group prayer or group, when the group is involved in some puja, and again in almost all religious places, somehow they relate the quality of the deity or the spiritual leader, and people will be simply appreciating that quality, and the different senses also get activated, your eyes, ears, and in some places even the prasadam or different kinds of the food also they provide the drinks and the fruit that will activate your nose and the tongue, which is of course more holistic when compared to other kinds of activation. So in that way also the religious centers they're doing their best to calm down the stress of this world. So in that way there are different approaches to handle stress. If you are going through any of these approaches, it is good. If it is working for you, if it is helping you, if it is working for you, it's well and good. Go ahead. But I am interested in promoting or in giving our approach of handling stress. And of course, I'll explain about how authoritative it is. So you can give a fair trial to this approach also. So before introducing our approach, there is one meditative approach also for handling stress. What is this meditative approach? It is so through surrendering to the God or to the deity, our ego will come down, our will, strong will. With strong ego, strong will come. So that will make us more rigid, and it will make us to undergo stress, to undergo pressure. If our capabilities are less, if our ego is more, if our will is more, but the capability is less, that is also imbalance. So we end up in stress. So in meditation, what happens? You are letting go this will also, this ego also. By surrendering to the God, by surrendering to the deity or the teacher or the religious leader, to some extent you can let go. But in meditations, it is more authoritative way of letting go ego. Because in any meditation, if they are subjective meditations, there is something called subjective meditation, where you keep on chanting the name of some deity or some some syllable. You can keep on chanting, or just counting like counting from 1 to 10 or something like that, counting the breaths. There are different kinds of meditations, hundreds of meditations, which are subjective. Subjective means you're imagining something, you're doing something. In addition to observing or watching something, you are doing something in your mind. With your will, with your intentions, you are doing something. They are called subjective meditations. They will also help us to come out of this stress and to let go, to come out of this burden of repeated thinking. Stress or any other mental, psychological issues like anxiety, depression, worry, tension, all these things are because of the repetitiveness in the mind. Continuously one negative thought keep on repeating in the mind. You undergo this kind of negative emotions like anxiety, stress, worry, fear, depression, which are nothing but different forms of stress only. So when instead of repeating one negative emotion, negative thought, In these subjective meditations, you are repeating one positive emotion. Like if you say, keep on saying the name of some deity, the deity represents one divine quality. So if you keep on repeating the name of that deity again and again, the divine quality or that positive thought again and again will bombard your mind, and you can come out of the negative thought. In that way, in many of these subjective meditations, where some imagination is there, where some visualization is there, they visualize some deity, where some verbalization is there, you repeatedly keep saying mentally the name of something. So this kind of techniques, they also will help us to come out of this repetitive negative thought cycle. Again and again, we get trapped in this negative thought cycle. To come out of that, so you have to, one can practice this repetitive positive cycle of some divine quality, something like that. Through verbalization, through visualization, through imagination, one can do that. So that they come under what is called different types of subjective meditations. So that is one way of stress busting, calming down your mind. One more way is like energy balance in the body. In the body, there are different kinds of energy movements. By practicing different kinds of meditations, again, the energy balance will happen in the body. They're also okay to some extent. They definitely calm down your mind. When there's a balance in the body, the mind also gets balanced. Balance in the body, not just with the food, not just with the material inputs of the body, even the energy inputs. There are so many energy channels or energy blocks, energy centers, energy meridians in the body. Through some techniques, through some meditations from different parts of the world, not only in India, China, Japan, even in Africa, Latin America, in different parts of the world, they have their own techniques of balancing the energy meridians, energy centers. The energy balance in the body will also balance the mind. That is also one way of stress busting, stress management. There are different kinds of meditations to balance the energy. And of course, now we will come to this, the more authoritative way to balance these inputs and outputs, and to understand the nature of this body and mind, so that more authoritatively, or I can say most authoritatively, you can come out of stress. That is the objective approach. So what is this objective approach to the mind, to the body, to the life, to the world, and how it helps us to come out of the stress? That we will see for some 5-10 minutes. So that is our approach. So in our approach, it is the objective approach, which is more authoritative approach when compared to all these different techniques that I have explained now to handle stress. So this very approach, as Buddha says, is dukkha and dukkha nirodha approach. Dukkha here is suffering, but most of the suffering is because of stress only, either in the body or in the mind. If there is some imbalance, some stress, that is nothing but suffering. That is nothing but dukkha. So the stress and the cessation of stress, that is what is our approach is all about. So our approach is nothing but stress and stress relief, stress cessation from the stress, complete removal of stress. So for this complete removal of stress, the approach should be very, very authoritative. So to give that idea of authoritativeness, we use this word cessation, or complete destruction, or complete removal of stress. So for that, this objective approach is the only powerful approach to remove the roots of the problem. If you cut one poisonous tree, only the branches or the stem, again it may sprout. The same way the other techniques, the subjective techniques or other balancing techniques or the diverting techniques, deviating techniques or sense excitement techniques. When there is disappointment, we thought of giving excitement. We thought of inducing excitement so that we can come out of disappointment. But it is a cycle. It's like a wave. Once there is trough, there is once the wave goes up, it has to go down also. The same way, once you get excited, you will fall into depression or disappointment also. This excitement and disappointment, they are the opposite faces, the same coin. They go together. They are actually temporary. The temporary techniques, the excitement techniques, or the temporary techniques to handle stress. So this objective approach of looking at the things, looking at body, looking at mind, looking at the world, looking at life in an objective way, of course, it requires a lot of skillfulness and a lot of compassion also. So to develop these skillful, compassionate, objective techniques, that is the approach, that is the way that completely cessates or completely removes the stress, dukkha nirodha, that is possible with this approach. Instead of getting trapped in this vicious cycle of excitement and disappointment, thinking that, oh, sometimes I undergo stress, so I have a technique of exerting myself, I can come out of this disappointment or stress. But that will weaken your mind. So temporarily you can come out of disappointment or stress. It will not make your mind bright, it will not make your mind still. So in this authoritative objective approach, you can make your mind more still, and authoritatively you can make your mind still. Authoritatively you can make your mind bright. A still and bright mind will definitely help you to achieve what you want to achieve in an authoritative way again. So
Namaste everyone. Looks like Banteji's video got hanged and there might be some internet challenge. Let us wait for 5 minutes for Banteji to rejoin. Thank you.
Okay, so so how authoritative is this approach that we will see just for a few minutes? So then you can ask some questions, and our coordinators also we can say something about our event program. So now, what is this approach? This approach is to understand the mind, how it works, how it functions, and to become more objective towards this very functioning of the mind. That's what is this approach. So can any of our coordinators, they can show the slide, these 4 faculties of the mind.
Sure, Guruji.
Yeah. So the first one, just the plain one, first one.
Just a minute, Banteji. I'm trying from my end. There's some technical difficulty. Just
Yeah, the right side, I could see the first one. So there are 4 faculties in the mind. So we have to understand these 4 faculties in an objective way, like a doctor, like an engineer, like a scientist. We have to understand our own mind. If we are carried away with some pre-notion or some premeditated idea, then we can't realize the true nature of the mind or true nature of these 4 faculties of the mind. Yeah, this one. So there are 4 faculties. The first one is the awareness faculty. Again, we should approach this awareness faculty in an objective way. So there are different techniques of approaching this awareness faculty in an objective way. That's what you are going to learn in this L1 program. The same way, the feelings also. In many other subjective approaches in different religions, they make it more of subjective, and there is a risk of getting carried away in that subjectivity. What does this subjectivity mean? So subjectivity means like having some notion of highness and minus. When this notion of highness and minus is there, then you infer, you observe it in a wrong way, and you infer it in a wrong way. The deductions are not truthful. Then automatically there will be some kind of confusion, there will be some kind of ignorance, some kind of delusion starts, and we can't come out of the stress authoritative. So again, the feelings also we should approach in a non-subjective way. In an objective way, we have to approach. There are again different kinds of feeling meditations that you are going to learn, and that will again give you a lot of that stepping back approach. You can zoom out and you can step back and you can look at these feelings. You can practice these feelings very authoritatively, and they are very, very fruitful, more result oriented, and it will definitely help in say the relationship issues, and it will definitely help in building the good relations wherever you are, in the office, the home, or in the company of friends, wherever you are. So to have that very harmonious, very authoritative, very cordial relation, these authoritative feelings, which are again you are learning through in an objective way. Though the feelings are more subjective, it is full of say that emotional quotient is there, emotional that aspect is there, what you call that emotional quotient, EQ. So though it is an EQ oriented progress in the mind, but still we are going in an objective way, so that even we can understand the emotions more authoritatively. We can use the emotions in an authoritative way, and so that we can have very harmonious, very cordial relation with the people around us. And that will also help us to sort out a lot of stress issues. Most of the stress in the world is because of this emotional friction, emotional imbalance, and emotional friction with others. To come out of this problem, we have to take up this objective approach to the most authoritative, most wholesome emotions, most positive, holistic emotions, and we have to learn them in an authoritative, objective. They're called Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha. So in other language, that you need not worry at this junction. So in that way, you can learn these different 4 emotion meditations which are related to the feelings or emotions. And awareness meditations, there are so many awareness meditations You can develop your awareness through all the five senses. The mind sense, there are so many meditations. You can develop your mind sense awareness. All those things you are going to learn, of course, which are authoritative and objective. They're objective because they're authoritative. They're authoritative because they're objective. So that's what you are going to learn in this awareness meditations. And in the feeling meditations, you can purify your feelings, you can objectify your feelings, you can make the feelings, you can make use of these feelings in an say effective or most skillful way, so that you can lead harmonious and cordial relation with all the people around you. So that is the second component of the mind. Then the third component of the mind is your reacting component, or your proacting component, or your confidence component of the mind. Confidence is also very, very important. When, but of course, if you, again, there should be a balance. If you're overconfident, you end up in misery. If you are lacking confidence, again, you end up in misery. So striking that right balance in your confidence levels also is very much required. Of course, there also this objective approach is very, very essential. If you have to understand this confidence and the different techniques of developing confidence in an authoritative, objective way. Again, there are 4 meditations, 4 techniques here. So it's called as Iddhipada, or the steps of success. So those 4 steps of success, if you understand, if you practice authoritatively, then there will be tremendous progress, tremendous improvement in your confidence levels. And again, that will help you to keep you in very good energy levels. A lot of energy is also required. If you are so dull, so weak, then again, you can't handle stress. You can't say cope up with the stress. Stress itself will squeeze your energy. So if you learn these confidence building techniques, then you can increase your energy levels and you can come out of stress. And it is this very stress that leads to a lot of health issues, psychosomatic issues. When there is stress in the mind, psycho means mind, then automatically it will have an impact on the body also. It will lead to a lot of say imbalance in your endocrine secretions, in your hormonal secretions, in the function of your nervous system, in the circulatory system, functioning of the heart, and so many other sensitive parts of the body, the internal organs. So to come out of this, again, of course, you have to have the energy levels in a balanced way, in an authoritative, but in a balanced way. To build that confidence levels in an authoritative way, again, you have to learn these 4 techniques. They're called Iddhipada. So those things, and of course, they're also like meditations or techniques that will help you definitely to maintain that authoritative, objective approach at your energy, to balance your energy levels also, to build confidence and to balance your energy levels. And again, the perception or the right knowledge. Many times we understand the right as wrong, wrong as right, good as bad, bad as good. So to have that right knowledge, right perception, the clarity, understanding, again, there are different meditations, different techniques. Those techniques we are going to learn in this level 1 and of course level 2 also. So these different 4 faculties of the mind, we are approaching these 4 faculties of the mind with different objective, authoritative techniques, so that you can effectively handle your stress. Once the stress is handled, you can handle so many aspects of the life, like your health, happiness, your relationship issues with the people, and your work efficiency, your energy levels, your confidence levels, your compassion levels, your emotional balance. All these things you can effectively handle, you can effectively learn by learning these different techniques. That's what is the syllabus, that's what is the content of this L1 program, which is nothing but handling the stress, nothing but an approach to handle the stress that we come across, we go through in our life, moment to moment, every day. But if these techniques are there with you, they're like weapons, they're like the arrows, or the weapons, or the tools, always, which will help you to make use of them suitably in different situations, and you can handle that particular situation more authoritative. So that is the idea of this entire program that we have designed, different levels, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. and of course some bridge courses in between, and of course there are so many practice sessions. There are so many say some programs like these Dhamma talks and all. Again, that will reinforce your say your understanding and you establishing this path. So learn these objective authoritative techniques of mind cultivation. In awareness, there are so many meditations, awareness meditations that you're going to learn, feeling or reacting or making you more confident, more energetic, mentally energetic. So those techniques, and in perception, understanding also. Many a times, because of this wrong understanding only, we end up in a lot of stress. So to come out of this wrong understanding, to want to establish in right understanding, again you have to learn a few meditations. Why meditations? Because authoritatively, experientially, you will learn the technique. I can give you a discourse, a lecture about each of these techniques. You can hear, you can intellectually, you can understand, and you can get some relief. But to make it more authoritative, more say powerful, then you have to experience it. That experiential wisdom is more important. So that comes only through practice. That comes only through practice that particular technique as a meditation. So that kind of experiential wisdom, by practicing these meditations, it will remain forever. They are permanent, and they will help you instantly whenever you come across, whenever you go through stress. Because of that reason, you have to practice it through experience, not just listening, not just by intellectual analysis. By intellectually learning it, you can't become authoritative in using those techniques. So that is about these different kinds of the different faculties of the mind and the different techniques, which are nothing but meditation, experiential techniques. Meditation is nothing but experiential technique. So that you are going to learn in this level 1 program that you are going to attend from Tuesday. And many of you, some of our meditators and some of our non-meditators also, they requested me that they will say register today. So tomorrow morning also, some of them they want to register because they have to tell their friends or something like that. So I have to extend this registration date till tomorrow. So you can just enroll your friends, those who are eager to attend these things and learn these techniques and tips and these meditative techniques, which will really help them in handling their mind, handling their life, so that they can derive authoritative health, authoritative happiness, and authoritative peace of mind. So that is the objective of this program. So again, tomorrow evening, maybe our coordinators, they can play this introductory lecture about the importance of this program, importance of the different techniques in handling stress. So, but that is the last opportunity. So tomorrow, before 3 or 4 o'clock, everybody should register, those who are eager to attend this. And again, maybe 5 o'clock, our coordinators, they will discuss and send this link. And those who could not attend today, they can attend tomorrow. Okay, so one more provision, one more opportunity. Our team has requested me, so can make use of this opportunity. Okay, now if you have big questions, 1 or 2 questions, you can ask. Those who are attending this through YouTube live, they can send your question to in the YouTube live, and you can just in the chat box, you can send your question. Then our coordinators will read that question, answer. So now, if those who are attending this Zoom, you can ask, you can unmute and you can ask. And those who are attending this YouTube live, they can send their question in the chat box. And before that, if our coordinators, if they want to say something about level 1, and which I'm used to these participants, you can tell. Just 1 or 2 minutes, you can tell, and then meanwhile they can write their questions.
Sure, Banteji.
Yeah.
I think some quick feedback from my end regarding level 1. I think level 1 course was very helpful for me personally. The feelings meditation of metta, mudita from level 1 were very helpful in interactions with people on a day-to-day basis. It reduced a lot of like confusions which I was having from people interactions, and also the concentration meditations helped. I felt like sharper senses, and which helped with like concentration and mindfulness on a daily basis. Banteji. Thank you.
Fine. The coordinators, who else is here? Other coordinators?
Oh, Pranam Banteji.
Yes,
Similar as Rohit, I also got benefited from the Brahma Vihara, that is the feelings meditation. It really helped me in my interactions with the people, and also the overall foundational understanding about the objectivity and the path is also like the level 1 helps you to create that background and the foundation which helps you grow further. So this is what I have to say. Thank you.
okay. Next, quick feedback, just 1 minute, then we will take up the questions from our coordinators.
Deepali Hebbali ma'am is here, Banteji. She's raising her hand. I'll ask her to unmute.
Vandami Banteji.
Yes, Amma.
Banteji, about my level 1 experience. Before attending level 1 meditation course of yours, Banteji, I had tried out meditation, but it was a very boring exercise for me. But once I attended your level 1 meditation course, I learned actually how to meditate and get rid of my mental and physical problems as well, because you also took up mind-body coordination exercises, and metta meditation is one thing I practice till today, which has helped me a lot. And in my workspace, I have gained lot of clarity in decision making, Banteji, which is one major takeaway for me from the level 1 meditation course, Banteji. In my personal life and in my work life, meditation has helped me so much I cannot express in words, Banteji. So my deepest gratitude to you, Banteji. Thank you, Banteji.
Fine. Yeah, that one more aspect that we are going to cover in this L1 program, of course, in L2 also, what is called this mind-body coordination. Always the mind jumps away from this body. Like body is always in the present moment. The mind goes to future and it say gets carried away in the past thoughts or worries, future plans. So then that coordination will not be there in the mind and body. The mind and body should be always in that coherence, in that coordination and congruence. If that congruence, if that coherence is skipped, then a lot of friction will start. If two wheels of a car, let us say, if they go in the opposite, if they start rotating in the opposite direction, then the friction will start. Or if one wheel is little slow and one wheel is little fast, then the travel will not happen. So the mind and body, there should be complete coherence, there should be complete coordination, there should be complete, that alignment should be there in the mind and body. So to achieve that, so we have designed what is called this mind-body coordination movements or techniques by making use of the breath as the connection, as an axle between these two wheels, that is the mind and body. This breath will act as an axle. So by coordinating this mind and body through this breath, if you learn this technique of mind-body coordination movements, then the mind will learn how to be with the body Thereby, it will learn how to be in the present moment. And then your mind becomes more alert, more active, more sharp. Then the stress, the worrying, the repetitive negative thoughts, all these things will go out. That's like one foundation actually for all other meditations. The body is ready by being with the mind, and the mind is ready by being with the body. Then you can learn all other meditations, which will emphasize on different faculties of the mind that just now I explained. This awareness faculty, feeling faculty, the energy faculty, and understanding faculty. All these four faculties, they function better, they work better if there is coordination in the mind and body. And the body becomes more light, the mind becomes more fresh, and the problems here and there in the body, they will be taken care of. It will support the meditation. The comfort in the body will support the meditation. The comfort in the body will also help us to come out of a lot of health issues. That you will come to know when you start learning and practicing these techniques, mind-body coordination techniques. That is one more component of this training program. Okay, now if you have some questions, you can ask. Or if you have got some questions in YouTube Live, you can ask our coordinator.
Yes, Banteji. I think one question is come Banteji from Shruti Joshi Banteji. She's asking, Vandami Banteji, in case of organic brain disorders, how meditation will help, as those patients also get stress-related issues?
What is the first word in this question? Organic
brain disorders. Banteji.
Organic brain disorders.
Yes, Banteji.
Yeah, say this. There are different kinds of brain disorders. If the disorder is of mild to moderate nature, then one can learn these techniques in a correct way, in an authoritative way. One can practice and one can come out of this kind of disorders. But if it is more profound, if the disorder is more profound, learning itself is difficult. Then practicing becomes difficult. The learning is difficult. One can't learn it properly and one can't practice it properly. Then one can't come out of that disorder. For everything, there is a limit. If the vehicle is completely broken down, then you can't fix it. If it is moderately broken down, then you can fix it. Same thing with the mind. If it is completely gone, then it is difficult. If it is moderately gone, then through some skillful means, through some proper causes and conditions, through right teacher, through committed care, concern, motivation, you can help them. I work with different kinds of people with different kinds of mental disabilities. In a way, it's not mental disability, they're differently abled people. If they're completely disabled, then it is difficult. But if it is moderately disabled or something like that, then one can help them to some extent. Of course, we can't completely fix the problem. There are so many factors which will contribute to the disorder, which are the reason for the problem, which are responsible for the problem. To fix that problem, we can create the right conditions, right causes, right techniques, right motivation to some extent, to up to say, let us say 50%. The problem is 50%, then to that extent, these techniques can be used and we have some use to them. If it is profound, the problem is profound, then it is difficult.
Next question is from Jitendra Jinagal in Zoom Banteji. He messaged the question. Namaste, Ji, how can we do such a program course physically?
Physically, you have to forget maybe for a couple of months. When this corona is there, physically possible. If the world is free from corona, then you can think of physical programs where the people can assemble and learn these things. Now it is only online. So we have designed these programs even for online, level 1, level 2, level 3. Online is also possible. Physical, of course, it is better, but online is also possible. But level 4, level 5, it is physical. So that's how we have designed. So when this problem is there, this in fact this pandemic problem is physically, you have to forget about it. Next question.
Like to request if any participants have any questions, they can message in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, so usually from past 4 5 months, our coordinators, they used to play the recording, and the participants, they used to learn the different techniques. But this batch, it is live, so I will be there all the time. And I will take your questions and see how you practice. It's almost like physical program only, though physical distance is there, but I can see you, you can see me, and I can work with all of you. We are making use of this technology in the best possible manner. So don't worry whether it is physical or online, because this program, I have promised our coordinators that I will be attending all the sessions and I will be handling all the participants. So make use of this opportunity. You can tell your friends and relatives and see that. Maybe I'll be busy again. I'm in Himalayas. I have my own commitment here, my assignment here. How to practice some different kinds of meditations here. But these 9 days, definitely I will be 10 days with you, and I'll help you in the best possible way. That is my commitment. That is my assurance to all of you. So just see that more people will make use of this program.
One question from Sureka Banteji.
Okay.
She's asking, I would like to ask that, is this program help us to live happy in life?
Of course. So if you have come out of stress, don't you think that you become happy? By coming out of stress, if you become healthy, if you become peaceful, if you become wise, if you become skillful, if your relationship with all other people around you, if it is more cordial and harmonious, don't you become happy? If your work efficiency increases, don't you become happy? If many of the psychosomatic issues, psychological issues, if you can come out of these things, don't you become happy? In that way, each and every technique, each and every word for that matter, is focused, is the intention of designing these techniques using the different words, even the words, is to make you happy, authoritatively happy, truly happy. Okay, next question.
Shruti Joshi is asking if you can share some key points to be kept in mind as to reduce stress level, Banteji.
You have to attend the course, the entire course, not just one course. 5 courses are designed to reduce the stress level. Each point is a key point. Next question. And it's not just knowing some points, it's experiencing the points. That's why we have designed it as meditations, as experiential techniques. Questions from the new participants. There is a message. Many thanks, my gratitude to you, Banteji, for sharing this wisdom. Dr. Suresh Kumar Agarwal from Kolkata. Okay, so any other question?
No specific question, Bhanteji. 2 more participants sent like gratitude-based messages.
Okay, so we'll conclude with one small chant. So tomorrow you can plan if some more participants are interested to attend this program, and of course our regular meditation practitioners also, they can tell their relatives and friends. So tomorrow we can have one more introduction class. From day after tomorrow, we'll start our classes. Our coordinators can plan for tomorrow's introduction class.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Rohit. So we conclude with a small chat. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te sukhi bhaveyan nidduko aham nicca aham viya hidacha me sukhi hontu majjata chatavedino mam hi gammante dhamme satta hontu sukhi sada to paranchara jesu chakkavale sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, so